following show is controversial and contains content you may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
98 FM's Dublin Talks. Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Friday morning, good morning. How are you this morning? I hope everything is good with you. I'm Adrian Kennedy, and between now and midday today, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks, the mid-morning talk and phone-in show for Dublin, by Dublin, and about Dublin. Now, first things first, before I tell you what's on the show today, I want to say a sincere, and I genuinely mean this, a sincere thank you to you for listening to this program. And the reason I say that is yesterday listenership figures were released for the radio industry, and this program has increased its audience by 17% in the last 3 months of the year, and has increased its audience by 50% in the last year, and making our show the biggest morning show in Dublin. Woo! You've no idea how proud I am to be able to say that after 5 years here at 98 FM. So from all of us, from all the team, from Katie and from Jeremy and from Jamie and from Rachel and from me, thank you very much indeed for listening to the programme and for increasing our audience so dramatically over the last year. We are extremely grateful, and thank you very much indeed for making this one of the most listened to radio shows in Dublin every morning. So thank you. Okay. Now, what have we got on the programme today? Well, coming up in just a moment, we'll be finding out about a shooting incident in Darndale earlier on this morning. A man has died following a shooting incident. More and more people in their late 20s and 30s are still living at home with their parents. We find out why. And it's Friday, so we've got Good News Friday. We have our Say What You See quiz. We're going to be taking more contestants for our Valentine's quiz, our competition, should I say, and much more besides between now and midday today. And live from Dublin City Centre, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I have to say hello to Jordan Byrne from Loughlinstown. Jordan listens to the programme every day. He's a really big fan of the show, and we just want to say good morning to him. Jordan, nice to have you listening to the programme, and thank you very much indeed. Now, first off on today's programme, another shooting in Dublin, another fatal shooting in Dublin. Almost every week news breaks of someone being shot in our capital city, and this one is no different. This morning's shooting in the Darndale area has taken the life of a man believed to be in his 30s. It happened at Marigold Crescent in Darndale. 98 FM reporter Casey O'Riordan is at the scene. Casey, good morning.
Good morning, Adrian.
So, what happened, what time, and what do we know?
Well, as you said there, what we know at the moment is just on Marigold Crescent this morning at around 6:30, there was a man who was in his 30s and he was shot a number of times. And he was then rushed to Beaumont Hospital, but sadly later was pronounced dead. And so the scene at the moment is cordoned off, and it kind of happened at an end of Terrace House. So at the side of the property, there's a tarp down and there's a number of Garda bollards in place, and a technical examination is due to be carried out. And while the investigation is just a few hours old, Garda believe that this may have been a targeted attack. Okay,
targeted attack means gangland, you can assume, can you?
Yeah, well, we're not really at liberty to say at the moment. That the line from Garda Press at the moment is just that, it seems to be a targeted attack.
Okay, now he was treated at the scene by ambulance personnel before being taken to Beaumont, but I understand after desperate attempts to save his life, he passed away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So he would have been brought to Beaumont, where his condition was described as critical for some time, but then it filtered out that he had in fact passed away.
Okay, so the scene has been preserved for a technical exam. That's likely to stay in place for most of the day, I would think.
Yeah, well, we don't really know when a technical exam will take place, but at the moment there are a number of Gardaí there. There's a large area cordoned off, and it just happens to be right beside a school, I suppose, to set the scene for you. It literally is a stone's throw. It's scarily close to a school, and even as I arrived on the scene earlier, lots of parents were still dropping off kids to school, and usually when these tragedies occur, locals are kind of shocked and can't believe that it's happening in their neighbourhood. But this morning, anyone I spoke to said crime and antisocial behaviour is kind of sadly their norm.
All right. Now, I know you have been speaking to some locals, so let's have a listen to what they had to say.
It's not unusual. I've lived here for 17 years. To be fair, my daughter's starting at the age now where we just want to get out of here now, because it's just between robbed motorbikes, robbed cars, burnt out cars only the other night. You look around you, there's one just there. We're not surprised at all. My friend even rang me this morning from Naas when she heard it was Darndale, because she knew we were in this area in case it was a mistaken identity. My own husband was a target of it, by mistake or something like that. So it's just not acceptable.
But that's nothing. It's an ongoing thing in this cooler care. They're not stabbing one another, shooting one another, selling drugs around the place. Kids that size are doing it. Ridiculous it is. I blame the parents on it, They won't take the kids in out the streets at night and won't do nothing with them,
I don't know, I'd be worried about my own safety, but it does make me feel like I need to take more precautions and maybe look at detours, because it's not the area that's unsafe, it's the individuals that create the trouble,
So, Casey, it would appear, certainly from listening to that Vox Pop, that local people are fed up and a little bit scared.
That's exactly it. I mean, it was quite surprising to chat to people. As I said, usually if I have to cover one of these tragedies, people are just in disbelief. But people here were shrugging their shoulders and just kind of like, look, this is just unfortunately our norm. They spoke about, rambler bikes being driven up and down outside the school, burnt out cars. There was a burnt out car not too far from us. People described some really awful incidents that have happened recently, and they just didn't seem surprised. And I suppose they kind of said that, the guards are here now, but where are they, Monday to Friday, Saturday to Sunday, when these incidents are occurring?
It's something we've heard quite frequently on this programme about particularly places like Darndale having a non-existent Garda presence the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, this is what I suppose some of the locals were saying. The woman there that said that she'd been here for 17 years and was just fed up, just said, look, there's guards here now, but, where were they when this morning they're driving their ramblers outside the school that's right next door? She said it's intimidating and it's constant.
All right, 98 FM reporter Casey O'Riordan, thank you very much indeed for joining us from Marigold Crescent in Darndale. And if you're from the area, if you've any comments, you can text or WhatsApp to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. If you're from the Darndale area, if you've any comments on that shooting this morning, we would love to hear from you. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. And now, as you know, we here at 98 FM's Dublin Talks are trying to spice up Valentine's Day a little bit, particularly if you're the most desperate Valentine that ever walked God's earth. Well, we've teamed up with the Radisson Blu Hotel on Golden Lane to treat you and your partner to an overnight stay next Thursday, which is Valentine's Day. You'll relax in the stylish city centre hotel with breakfast and dinner in the elegant V&V restaurant, where chef Tommy Butler has created a special Valentine's Day menu. Now, here's what we're looking for this competition. We are looking for people who do nothing for Valentine's Day for their other half, who are just an absolute disaster area. You never buy a card, you never buy flowers. In fact, the day just passes you by without a notice for your loved one. If you are that soldier, this competition is for you to win a fabulous night at the Radisson Blu Hotel on Valentine's night and lovely dinner and everything else. So, we're looking for hopeless romantics, and by hopeless, I mean hopeless, like you're just brutal. So if you haven't entered the competition yet, it's not too late. 98fm.com/love is where you go if you want to enter the competition for your chance to win that lovely night at the Radisson Blu Hotel next week with the dinner and everything else. So if you've never even bought her a card, you'll be a hero next week. Okay, let me talk to our first contestant this morning. He's down on Bagot Street. His name is Glenn. Glenn, welcome to 98 FM.
How's it going? How are you?
Good, thank you, Glenn. Now, Glenn, when it comes to Valentine's Day, you wouldn't be the best, would you?
No, I'm always reminded. I always have to be reminded.
Oh, you have to be reminded?
Yeah, I have two sisters that are always at me.
Oh, right, so they remind you, don't forget Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I always get cards and flowers. They always have to be reminded.
So, you forgot to do something last year, which was?
Yeah. Book a table for a meal.
Oh. And you were meant to?
Yes, I was meant to.
So you had told her that we'd go out for dinner on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and I booked the table, but I completely forgot.
So was she expecting to go out on Valentine's Day last year?
Well, it was a bit bad now, but she was expecting, and we went out, but it wasn't what she expected at the end.
So hang on, did you actually take her out?
Yeah, we went. I had to end up taking her after now, but when I had to break it to her, I forgot to book a meal.
So what, you arrived at a restaurant and then told her, oh, by the way, I forgot?
Well, I tried to play it cool by saying that the table was booked and that they gave it off. But it just didn't work out at all. It was pretty stupid, to be honest.
I'd say you were popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was in the bad books for a few days after that.
Okay, winning a night in the Radisson Blu next week with dinner and everything else, would that get you back in the good books?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, well, you're in the competition, Glenn. We'll be announcing the winner early next week, and, well, 2 winners, actually. And you could be one of those winners, Glenn. We'll be in touch. Best of luck. Bye.
Thanks very much.
There you go. That's Glenn. He was meant to book Valentine's dinner last year and forgot all about it. Where are we going next? We're going to Clondalkin next. And on the line in Clondalkin, we have Carrie. You're on 98 FM. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
I'm good, thank you, Carrie. Now, you sound like you're dying.
I am.
Oh.
I'm smothering, but I'm all right.
Oh, yeah, that was me last weekend. I was in bits last weekend, but because I'm a man, it was even worse. Anyway, Carrie, you are, I'm told, terrible at romance.
Hopeless.
Oh.
Like, the worst.
So you're rubbish at thinking of, like, do you ever surprise him?
No, like, never. And he's always the one surprising me, and I always feel awful. I forget everything. I go from forgetting birthdays and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I'll forgive it at the moment because you're half dead, but no, what, you'd even forget his birthday?
It's just, his birthday is the day after Christmas.
But that should be really easy to remember.
No, I know, but the hype of Christmas just, you nearly just kind of goes out of your head then.
Right. And what about Valentine's Day? Do you ever get him a card?
No.
Does he get you one?
Yeah, like all the time. He'll never forget anything.
Do you know what that's like? That's like somebody saying, are you saying to somebody, I love you, and their answer is, I know, or that's nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. Oh, you're a disaster, are you?
I know.
So what would it mean to win this prize, a night in the Radisson Blu and dinner and everything else next week?
To be honest, it'd just be lovely to be able to give back to him, because he is amazing. He's great with me, and he always looks after me, I think, so it would be lovely for him.
All right, well, look, you're in the competition, Carrie, and I wish you the best of luck. We'll be announcing the winners early next week.
Perfect, thank you.
All
very
right,
much.
see you, bye.
Thanks, bye.
And finally, we go to Tala and Gareth. Welcome to 98 FM.
How's it going, Adrian?
Gareth, I'm reading here about your idea of Valentine's Day and what you treat her to on Valentine's Day. Give me an idea of the sorts of gifts that you have bought for Valentine's Day in the past.
Well, I just thought you were good gifts, but they weren't. So I've been told never to buy anything like them again. But
Right.
I like so a hairdryer.
Right.
A hair tongue, so she doesn't even use a tongue, which I found out after I bought it.
Right. Well, you never noticed.
Well, her hair does be curly. I didn't know she went to the hairdresser to think it curly.
Right, okay. So you assumed she used the hair tongs until you gave her one?
Yeah, and then literally told to never buy her another electrical product again. She doesn't want them.
Did you buy? Did you buy what it says here? Did you buy her a Hoover?
Well, I bought the handheld Hoover.
Which is a Hoover? What? You bought her a lovely Dyson or something? Did you?
Well, no, you know the little smaller ones that you can
Well,
get
for
it
doing
all
for cleaning the car.
Yeah, well, I thought it was for cleaning the house, but just for getting into the corners.
My God! Right, so you're barred, but at least you don't forget it. It's just the gifts. The gifts are crap.
I only remember because I was listening to the show there last week and went, oh, it's Valentine's show. I better enter that competition.
So have you ever taken her out for a dinner on Valentine's Day or really spoiled her? Other than a Hoover for cleaning the car?
I'm sure I have.
You sure you have?
Yeah.
When? 10 years ago? When? Okay, you're brutal anyway. You're
terrible.
yeah, right, okay. So what would it mean to win a night out of the Radisson Blu, dinner in the V&V restaurant. You can stay over, you have breakfast the next morning, and actually the chef, Tommy Butler, has created a very special Valentine's Day menu, so it's the real deal. What would that mean?
It'd be great. It'd be great. It would mean the world for her.
All right.
She's at home sick at the moment, so it'd be even better.
Oh, very good. All right. Well, we'll be announcing the winners early next week, Gareth, so fingers crossed it could be you.
Okay, thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks.
That is Gareth, and we also had Glenn and Carrie, and they are all entered into the competition next week. We're looking for the worst Valentine in Dublin. We're going to try and help you to make it up to your better half. So, if you haven't entered the competition yet, it is not too late. You have this weekend to enter. We'll be closing the competition on Monday. Okay, so you have the whole weekend to enter. Here's what you do. You go to 98fm.com/love. Okay, can't be any simpler. We can't make it any easier than that. 98fm.com/love. If you would like to enter the competition to be in with a chance of winning yourself that amazing prize. It really is a lovely prize of a night in the Radisson Blu in Golden Lane. It's a lovely hotel, actually. Last year during the Beast from the East, we got stranded in the city centre and ended up staying there for 3 days. So it's a fantastic hotel. So there you are. The very best of luck to you. If you want to take part in the competition, just go on to 98fm.com/love for your chance to win that competition. And then next week we could hear this really cheesy music all over again. Who made this? It's 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We're here until midday today. Now, next on the programme, do you live at home with your mammy and daddy? And if so, how old are you? And why have you not flown the nest yet? I have a reason for asking this, because according to figures from the Central Statistics Office, 460,000 adults over the age of 18 in Ireland live at home. Meanwhile, a Eurostat survey showed that 1 in 4 adults over the age of 25 are still living at home. Think about that now for a second. A quarter of all adults over the age of 25 are still living at home. Now, if you still live at home, how old are you? Text or WhatsApp your answers to that question to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. As I said, the figures from the 2016 census show that nearly half of adults living in their family home are in full-time employment. The lack of accommodation is a primary reason why young adults are still living with their families, especially here in Dublin. So if you're living at home, is it because you can't find somewhere to live in Dublin, or you can't afford to move out, or that your mammy looks after you so well? I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Now, for many Dubliners, they fly the nest but then can't afford to pay rent and save for a mortgage, so they move back home to mammies. Have you had to move home for... I know, for example, one of our colleagues here had been living with her boyfriend for quite a while, and they were trying to save, but ended up having to go home to their respective parents in order to save. I'd love to hear from you on 6797 981. The average age here in Ireland where people leave home is 26. So that's the average. That means some leave at 18 and some leave at 38. I'd love you to text or WhatsApp me right now on 0877 98 98 98. If you are living at home, what age are you and why are you still at home? Okay, obviously I'm talking about adults. Text or WhatsApp your answers to that to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. What age are you and why are you still living at home? I want to find out why, because I was thinking about this earlier on, and I moved out of the family home when I was about 22, 23, something around that. And at that time, actually, it was quite old. I'd friends who'd moved out of the family home at 18. So if you're still living at home, why? Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. And if you can't take a phone call, you can send us a WhatsApp voice message to 0877 98 98 98.
98 FM's
Dublin Talks
with Des Kelly Interiors. New store now open at Belgard Road, Tala.
98 FM.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. Our telephone number is 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Now, I want to talk to you about people who are living at home with Mammy and Daddy, because new figures showed that over a quarter of all adults over the age of 25 are still living at home with Mammy and Daddy, or Mammy or Daddy, basically in the family home. And I want to find out why that is. And it appears that age is getting older and older and older. So if you still live at home, how old are you and why are you still at home? Text or WhatsApp your answer to that question to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. If you're still living at home, why are you still living at home? And I also want to talk about the practical difficulties of living at home when you're like 30. There have to be drawbacks to living at home at 30. Now, obviously, there's some advantages, but overall, there has to be drawbacks to living at home when you're in your 30s. John, you're on 98 FM. How are you, John?
How are you, Adrian?
Now, John, not only are you living at home at 35, you're living at home with your wife and your child as well.
I am, yeah, with the in-laws as well, so it's my own home.
All right, so you're living with her parents.
Yeah.
And, okay, so for her that's okay, but for you it must be weird, is it not?
Yeah, it can be tricky, all right, there's no doubt about it. Don't get me wrong, I mean, they're going very well with me and all, but yeah, look, it's definitely it's not your place, and it's not your space, so you're conscious of that, you know, but it's a case of just having to do it, really, you know. Because I can remember many years ago, myself and my ex-wife lived with her parents for 3 months while we were waiting for our new house to be finished, and oh my God, it was hard. It was very difficult, I have to be honest, and it was only 3 months. We knew there was an end to it. Do you know if there's going to be an end to it? Absolutely, yeah, and it's like yourself, yeah. Now, we're a little long, we're just going on a year there now, but we do have an end, and so we managed to save for a house, so that's due to be finished now, hopefully in the summer we'll get in. So we do have an end line, so that helps keep it kind of
and but moving in there, was it like we did it many years ago while we were waiting we were in between houses basically. Have you ever had your own house, or is this your first house?
Yeah, no, we were renting for 10 years, and it was kind of a case of, well, I mean, during the recession I was unemployed for quite a bit. I was in the construction industry, so renting was kind of the only option available to us. But as we've been coming out of this recession, of course, as we all know, rent has been skyrocketing. And what happened to us on 2 occasions in the last 2 years, the 2 premises we were renting were sold on us. So we were kind of put out fairly quickly. So we went from one premises to the next, and the same thing happened the second time. So we really just said, look, the only way to do it now is to move back. Now, even moving in with the in-laws wasn't an option, because it was the younger sisters were still living there at the time. So they thankfully got their house in the last year, and that kind of opened up a bit of a chance for us now. So that's kind of what happened, and it's like everybody, you know, it's the only way to do it. We tried to do the whole renting and saving, but we couldn't do it. We were going back to the savings to pay the rent, so
right, so you were caught in that rental trap basically.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So how long have you been living with the in-laws?
So we're going just nearly a year there now, so it's yeah, look, the thing is, like, you know, at the same time, we're lucky and grateful to have that opportunity, because, you know, some people don't even get that chance, and they are going to be stuck in this. I work with people that are stuck in that rental trap, and it's just, you know, for anyone that has no end in sight, it must be hard, because, I mean, at least I have that kind of end coming up now where we will have our own house.
And like I said, I can compare it to 3 months many years ago, and I found that really, really difficult. Not that I didn't get on with them or anything, but I don't know what it was. I felt I'd lost my independence, or I wasn't providing, or whatever. It bothered me immensely. But you now know you have an end date. Have you actually found a house yet?
Yeah, we have. We've actually our deposit all up for it now, so that's kind of where, you know, it has. We have the sense now it has been worth it. The sacrifice was worth it, you know. So thankfully we have got that. So it makes it a bit easier, but it's like you say, it can be tough though. It's tough going, you know. You just don't have your own space. You don't kind of, you know, you're not kind of in control control of what you're doing when you come home in the evenings or whatever, you know. So.
Right, so when you do get your own place, you will really appreciate it, I should imagine.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The recliners will be going out again. I can do what I want.
Good man, John. Thanks very much indeed. Good to talk to you. 6797-981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. I want to hear from you if you are still living at home with the parents as a grown adult. And if so, why? I'm trying to find out why people are still living at home, because 1 in 4 Irish adults over the age of 25 are still living at home. So I want you to text or WhatsApp me right now on 0877 98 98 98. And to answer that question, what age are you still living at home and why are you still living at home? Dwayne, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Dwayne.
How's it going, Adrian? How are you?
Good, thanks, Dwayne. Tell me your story about your aunt.
Basically, she's lived there since I was a child. Like, I was born in the house, you know what I mean? And she's been there since day one. She's 48 now. She also lives there. She's 2 kids in the house there as well. Like, so her child's 25 on top of that. So
hang on. So she's still living at home. She's
with my grandmother.
With your grandmother. She's 48. Yeah. 48. And not only is she still living at home at 48, she has 2 adult children living there as well.
She's 1 adult children, but her adult child has 2 younger kids as well, so she's 2 grandchildren living in the house there as well.
Whoa. Hang on. So there's the woman with her child and her grandchildren living in Granny's house.
Living in Granny's house, yeah, now you have it.
So there's 4 generations living in the one house.
4 generations in one house. Now, don't get me wrong, the 25-year-old, she's trying her hardest to try and get out, you know, but the ma isn't trying at all.
That's mad, that is.
She's just hoping that the other 2 disappear. She's the house, I think, you know what I mean?
And is she how many siblings has she got?
She only has the one.
Right. And, yeah. I just wonder, was it laziness that she ended up staying there?
I reckon it was more my grandmother's fault, really, kind of just clinging on there, you know what I mean? So it's like she tried to move out a couple of times, but the grandmother's already got the press, you know what I mean?
Right, so it suits the granny for her to stay there?
Of course it does. Like, in the end of the day, she gets up, she does her cleaning in the morning, she brings the kids to school for the daughter and all, you know. She goes to school herself, she's an adult student, like, you know, so she's trying.
And what's your situation? What age are you?
I'm 30, but I have my own house. Like, I have a 3-bed house I have. I have 3 boys I have and a wife and everyone else. So, you know, I started moved out when I was 18. We did.
Did you? Well, fair play. And when you moved out at 18, where did you live first? Were you renting a place or?
We were renting in Bray, and then, we rented in a lot of places. We rented in Ockram, in Arklow, in Lucan, in Ballymount, and now I own a house in Lockington.
Right, fair play. Yeah, that's brilliant. So it does actually pay, even though it can be expensive, it does pay in the long run to get out and get on your own 2 feet.
Just get out and get on your own 2 feet. There's no point in clinging on to mommy and daddy. Like, there's no point in your own end in life. You need to make your own routes, you know what I mean?
And do you understand the reasons that many people have for still living at home?
No, I can't fathom it. I can't. Like, because in the end of the day, like, he'll get on with it. We'll get on with our family, you know. Like, especially if you have to live with them all your whole life. Like, how could you wake up in your mother's house at 25 years of age and go down and see your master making your breakfast or whatever, you know? You just haven't got your own. It's not your own privacy in the end of the day, you know.
Okay, so you couldn't imagine in a million years still living at home?
No, couldn't imagine it.
And do you know many of your age?
My friends, yeah, I know one of my friends at the moment is living at home with man, but it's not really his fault. He sort of had a bad relationship and she sort of out the door kind of thing. But other than that, no, all my friends, really is out and around, yeah.
Okay, so the excuse that it's too expensive or I can't afford to rent somewhere, you don't buy that at all?
It's because we're not moved out, Adrian. I didn't move out on my own accord. I was an apprentice carpenter at the time I was, so my year for like 180 a week or something like. So I had to get help off the government. You know, I had to go on that RAD scheme within our half our rental allowance or something is what I had to get to move out. But it sounds like I'm fully qualified and I made my own money and I got my own thing sorted. I went out on my own, you know.
Okay, so the point being that getting out on your own was important to you.
Yeah,
that you stretched yourself, basically.
Yeah, because and pennies. It's impossible to move out on your own. But if you just get out there and look for the help of people that can give you the help, just get the help. Get the help that's out there for you and take it, and just get onto your own 2 feet. Once you're out there, once you meet, is how much better it is than living in your ma's house. You know what I mean?
All right, fair play, Dwayne. What would you make of a 41-year-old still living at home with Mammy?
Well, I'd say, look, if he's just too lazy, he's getting up out of bed 12 o'clock every day, he's hoping Ma's making his dinner and making his bed and washing his clothes and all for him, and he's giving that 20 quid a week, and he's happy doing that, that's fair enough, do you know what I mean? You do your own thing. But look, if he wants his own life, he wants to live his own life, get a job, get a place to live in, get a woman, settle down, have a family, enjoy the rest of his life, do you know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's try and find out why Tom in Clontarf at 41 is still living at home. What's that all about, Tom?
I just can't afford rent, can't have 2 kids. Paying maintenance, just the cost of living in this country is just disgraceful. Rent is just disgraceful. Can't afford to get the money up for even a deposit.
And right, okay. So, have you always lived at home? Did you ever live out of home?
Oh God, yeah, of course we did. Yeah.
Right, and you see, here's the thing, Tom. I can't imagine ever. Sorry, oh my God, where are you? You're in that hurricane, are you?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I can't imagine ever moving home or regardless of my circumstances.
Oh God, yeah, I know, it's just horrific. I tell you, to be honest, it's just circumstances, just trying to find a place that's good enough for yourself and the kids and things like, Like I'm working and things, so I'm just kind of bored. It's just absolutely shocking and disgraceful. And I'm living with a woman, she's an absolute nutcase, it's just absolutely crazy, like, just clothes and socks and jocks and all going missing, everything, like, she's doing the washing and just things are missing all the time. The dinners aren't up to scratch. It's just disgraceful, do you know what I mean?
You ungrateful git.
I mean, if I get one more beans, eggs and chips again, I got to go lose it. I'm wearing odd socks now at the moment. I can't find a pair of socks the same colour. She's just not there. She's here with her own. She's taking a bob me loose change on me jocks.
Do your own washing, you lazy good for nothing.
Not at all, folks. That's why I live at home. Good luck.
Good luck. 41 years of age, he's still living at home with his mammy. I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797981. Sinead, I'm going to talk to you straight after the break. 37 and still living at home.
Yeah.
Going to find out why when we come back.
98 FM's
Dublin Talks
with Des Kelly Interiors. New store now open at Belgard Road, Tala.
98 FM.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. New figures out today show that over 1 in 4 adults, so over 25% of all adults over the age of 25 are still living at home. And we're trying to get our heads around it and trying to find out why. Why is somebody in their late 30s or their late 20s or early 30s or even their late 30s still living at home? Or 41 as in that case. They're called the boomerang generation because they leave and they come back. I was always wondering where that expression came from. Yeah, the boomerang generation. They leave the house, they leave Mammy and Daddy, but end up coming back home again. Let me read a couple of your messages. We live in my parents' house. I'm 33, he's 32, and we have an 8-month-old. 3 of us sleep in the same room. No sign of getting our own place. Email people all the time about renting properties and no email back. We both work just very hard at this time about renting property. So we have nowhere to go, basically. Can't find anywhere. We'd love to be in our own place, says that message. And I'm 21 and still live at home in Bray. It's impossible for someone of my age to move out comfortably as minimum rent is about €1,000. How is anybody my age expected to save money for a mortgage or even live comfortably away from home in this sort of financial climate? Only option is to move out of this country. And shame on the politicians and people who let this happen. I don't necessarily agree that the only option is to move out of the country, because when you move out of the country, you'll find rent as expensive in most other European capital cities anyway. It really is. You go to many cities around Europe and you'll find rent just as expensive as it is here. What about, to that 21-year-old, what about you and a couple of mates sharing a gaff? And split the rent between you. Does that make sense? Where am I going now? We're going to Sinead. 37 years of age, Sinead, and still living at home with Mammy.
Still living at home with the Mammy, yeah, 37.
Now, how come?
Well, I mean, I haven't always been at home. I obviously was out renting. I have 2 kids, you know. Basically, it was the breakdown of a relationship. I had to go home. I couldn't afford the rent on my own. And then there was a couple of mental health issues. But it was only ever supposed to be for a year, Adrian. That year has turned into 6 years. And I'm just in a position where it's literally physically impossible for me to get a mortgage, to rent. I only work part-time. I can't work a 40-hour week because I have my children. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not in a position where I can go out and work 40 hours a week because, number one, my kids are 7 and 9. There's no pressures that take 7 and 9-year-olds. The only, you have an after school for an hour, that's it. I can work till 3 o'clock and that's it. I can't work past 3 o'clock because the kids have to be collected from school and stuff like that. I've tried. It's not that I'm at home sitting on my arse doing nothing, not trying. I've tried to get out and rent. You literally, as that girl in that text said, I spent every day for a solid year emailing landlords, emailing estate agents, regards houses, you know, for whether it's HAP, whether it's for whatever. You don't get an email back. It's absolutely soul destroying. And then you go and you view these houses, you tell them, yeah. And all they want is professionals. They're not interested in the single mothers. For a year solid I tried, and then I actually gave up because it was just soul destroying. It was absolutely soul destroying.
So how does it go down at home that you're still there?
Look, I mean, I have the best mother in the world, you know, but she's not one of these mothers who's at home and has my dinner on the table. You know, I do my own cooking. I cook for my kids. I actually cook for my mother. My mother doesn't do cooking. So I'm not at home, you know, and Mammy's looking after me. I'm looking after myself, and I'm looking after my own children. You know, at the same time, she understands the situation in the society and the world we're living in now and the age and the generation that we're in. It's near impossible for anybody to get out.
So what are the downsides to living at home? I mean, I'm in my 50s now, but I can't imagine ever living in my mum's house again.
Yeah, it's horrible. Don't get me wrong. It has its benefits and it has its downfalls. I mean, if it wasn't for my mother and my brother being there, you know, I wouldn't be able to go and do certain things because they can look after the children. If it wasn't for my mother, my kids wouldn't be the kids they are today because she's obviously the one helping me raise them. You know what I mean? She's the one instilling values in them as well as myself.
And what about the likes of a new relationship? Is that possible?
It is, but it's hard. I mean, I'm in one room with my 2 children, so you know, where are you supposed to go? You know, my children only go to their dads every second weekend, so it's not as if, you know, they're gone every weekend. I can go and stay in his house or he can stay in my house or, you know, it's near impossible. It is near impossible. And then there's no privacy. Because myself and the 2 kids are in one room, I have no privacy, but the kids have no privacy.
And how old are your kids now?
They're 7 and 9.
Okay, so there will come a time in the next couple of years that they'll need their own rooms.
Especially with the 9-year-old. Yeah. I mean, she's looking for her own space at the minute as well, you know. And it's you know, I just can't give it to her. And that breaks my heart as a mother because as a mother, you're supposed to be the one that provides for your children. But I can only work within the circumstances I'm given. And unfortunately, my circumstances aren't very given at the minute.
It sounds like it gets on top of you.
Of course it does, yeah, it very much does. But
now, other people in your situation, as you well know, Sinead, declare themselves homeless so that they get given a place. That's not something you've ever considered, is it?
I went to 2 politicians before in regards, you know, homes and stuff like that. One politician told me to cry depression. He told me I'd be in a hotel for 18 months, but I'd be guaranteed a house after it. Now, the situation I'm in, Adrian, I'm in one room with 2 children. I didn't see the point in me going from one room to one room. And I'm also, look, there's people out there that's you know, they're worse off than I am, and I totally appreciate that they're worse off than I am. I have the ability to be able to cook for my kids. I have the ability to be able to wash and have a washing machine. If you go into a hotel, you don't have that luxury.
No, of course not.
And then some hotels, it's you have to be out at 10 o'clock in the morning and you're not allowed to come back till 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so your situation, while it's not ideal, is better.
It's better than some, yeah. You know, I mean, I know I'm sitting here whinging and I know I'm moaning, but I also know there is people out there that are worse off than me, and I am grateful for the roof I have over my head. But at the same time, it is absolutely soul destroying.
All right, stay there for a second, Sinead. Soul destroying to be still living at home with the mammy. Shane is in Malahide. You're on 98 FM. Shane, how are you?
How are you doing?
Now, you're 27, still living at home, but you have tried. You're one of these boomerang generation. You've tried to move out, but boomeranged back home again.
Pretty much, yeah. Can't afford the rent out anywhere else, Adrian.
So, give me an idea of what you've tried. Like, where have you gone or where have you lived?
So far, I've lived abroad, as you say. I've lived in New York, I've lived in Carlow, I've lived in Galway, I've lived in Dublin. Carlow seemed to be the cheapest of all the places, but even at that, couldn't afford to have a life that you wanted to live when you're paying that sort of rent. It's just completely impossible. And like I said in my text, like the recession happened over 10 years ago. I didn't see any rent prices take a dip in those 10 years. But as soon as the recession's over...
Well, they did, but... okay, so you're now in a situation... How long are you back home again?
I've been back home for the last 2.5 years now.
Right. And moving back home...
Yeah.
Moving back home, I know my own young fella lived in Canada for a year and a half, and he found it very difficult moving back home to his mum's house because, yeah, he struggled with it a bit. Now he's still there and whatever, but when you have the independence of living away from home, it must be very difficult to lose that again.
Oh, it's impossible. I feel like I'm doing my junior cert again. I've to live under rules and stuff like this. Now, I understand it's not my house, so obviously I live by rules, but...
And what sort of rules do you have to live by?
Well, I don't have parties, but not being able to have a party, so I haven't had friends over to where I live in those 2.5 years. Things like that. I've got to... It's just... As that previous caller said, it's kind of unbearable. It's hard to explain how you feel. You don't have the freedom to do what you want in your own space. As you grow older, and obviously as I did grow bigger, the space doesn't grow bigger around you, and so you're in a smaller space as you grow up and stuff like that. So I've got less space to put my things. I've got less freedom around the house. I'm walking on eggshells because I understand that there are other people within the house. It's not my place.
Right, so you, like I said, you had your independence, but it was taken away from you.
Basically, yeah.
And what about? I was asking Sinead a couple of minutes ago, and she was explaining how difficult it is for her to even start a relationship. How difficult is it for you?
I suppose it's very hard. I also live at home with a disabled younger brother, so bringing people home there is very difficult. As soon as you bring somebody new into the environment, it's a complete change to that person's daily life, and so I can't even do that. So anytime I'm to meet somebody, it has to be out in a different place. I can't bring anybody home, can't meet parents with them, can't just have a night in, relaxing, because I've got nowhere to do that. Or I have to hope that, I suppose, the other person has those options available to them. Otherwise, I'm in catch-22 and can't do anything, really. And I'm not the type of person that likes to go out and drink. So those sorts of dates where let's meet up, go for a drink in a pub or something, doesn't suit me. I can't afford to go out for these €100 meals every time somebody wants to go out instead of going out for a 20 quid couple of drinks. That's just not realistic for myself.
So how do you ever break that cycle then?
By living at home. I'm not paying somebody else's mortgage. I'm paying rent, yeah, but it's not as much as people are looking for rent out in Dublin. So at least I'm saving up a small bit in the hopes that one day I'll be able to afford my own mortgage. But there's no point to me paying rent to somebody else and paying off their mortgage where I'll never afford my own.
So, yeah, you see, I wonder, will you ever get to live a normal adult life where you should be independent and, you know, providing for yourself and living by yourself?
Well, the roof over my head is that. It's a roof over my head. I provide for myself. The food I eat is all bought by me on the money that I earn. My clothes are washed by me. All that sort of stuff is done by me. So yes, it's my parents who are all under the same roof as myself. But I am independent. I just don't have that space to feel it, if you get me.
Yeah, like I was saying to a caller earlier on, it sounds like this actually gets on top of you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can see why. It must be very... Like I said, I moved out of my mum's house when I was about 22, and I can't imagine ever having lived there any longer than that. So I should imagine it's a cause of awful frustration. All right, Shane, I appreciate your call and I appreciate your honesty. Thanks very much indeed. And Sinead and all of you for your calls. It is one of those traps that people get stuck into. Anyway, this is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. We're here till midday today, and it's time for Good News Friday. Good News Friday is where we ask you to share with us your good news story. This is something that's after happening in your world that is just great news. No matter how big or small it is, we want you to share with us your good news story. And for some lucky caller, I have a pair of tickets for IMC Cinemas to give away. So share with us your good news right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 98. Live and exclusive to Dublin's 98 FM, Monday through Friday between 10 and midday. This is Adrian Kennedy. You're with 98 FM's Dublin Talks. And Trish is here with Friday's top headlines.
Thanks, Adrian. Gardaí believe a man who was shot dead in Darndale this morning may have been the victim of a targeted attack. The man in his 30s was killed after being shot a number of times outside a house at Marigold Crescent at 6:30. The scene remains sealed off for a technical examination and Gardaí are appealing for witnesses. Both sides and the nurses dispute are meeting with the Labour Court this morning to try to end the strikes. The INMO, the HSE and the Departments of Health and Public Expenditure are giving their views on how to resolve the row over pay and staff shortages. 3 24-hour strikes are planned for next week, which would lead to the cancellation of 80,000 medical appointments. And strong winds are affecting Dublin as Storm Eric approaches Ireland. A status yellow alert is in place until tomorrow morning. And now you're up to date on 98.
Sorry, thank you, Trish. It's 98 FM's Dublin Talks. It's time for Good News Friday. Now, Good News Friday is where we ask you to share with us your good news story. Now, it can be something really small, but for you, it's good news. It can be something extremely big, and for you, it's good news. I'd like to hear from you on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. And for some lucky caller, we have a pair of tickets for IMC Cinemas to give away. Now, as you know, we like to start Good News Friday with Jeremy's young fella, little Luke Dixon, who's a regular contributor to Good News Friday. So Jeremy's off work today, by the way. He's a day off. And our Jamie tried to get in touch with Luke for Good News Friday.
Hi Luke, it's Jamie here. We need your Good News Friday, please. Thank you.
Okay, so we've made contact. This was sent to Jeremy's phone, obviously. And here's the reply we got.
I took a day off today, Jamie. Not like Katie. Hello?
All right, so we've no good news from Luke. He's took a day off. He's 4. Stuck with his old fella for the day. God love him. All right. Anyway, there you go. No good news from Luke. We've just been put in our box. What is your good news story? Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. My good news, and in fact our good news this week, is, I mentioned this earlier on, but for those of you who weren't listening at the start of the show, we got radio listenership results this week, which show that this programme has got its highest listenership ever. It has increased 17% in the last 3 months. It's increased 50% in the last year. And it is now the biggest programme between 10 and 12 in Dublin every morning. So that's our good news, and we're absolutely chuffed. We really, really are. After 5 years of hard work, I'm delighted for the whole team that the show is making rapid progress. So thank you very much indeed, all of you, for listening to the programme, because without you listening, then we don't have a job, basically. And thanks to all of you who have joined us on Dublin Talks in the last year. and quite a sizable audience now listening to the show every day. So thank you very much indeed for tuning our way. So that's our good news. But what is your good news? Call me right now on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Tracy, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Tracy.
Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Tracy, what is your good news?
My 24-year-old just told me she's going to view a house at the weekend with her boyfriend, and she may be moving out.
Ooh! After our conversation a couple of minutes ago.
And I was listening to you in the car. She got into the car and said it, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're just talking about it on the radio."
Oh, right, brilliant. So she's going to view a place over the weekend.
Yeah.
What age is she?
24.
24. And it's not like Mammy ever wants to see the back of their child, but you do want to see the back of them as well, don't you?
Well, I was kind of like, you won't be able to afford that, and blah, blah, and it's like, you're at me to move out, and then you're telling me I can't afford it, so I don't know, I can't win.
Right, yeah, exactly. Is she the only one living at home?
Oh no, I have a 20-year-old son and a 7-year-old son. They share a room, so they'd be delighted.
Oh, right, very good. So, so they'll each have their own room then?
They'll have their own room then, yeah.
Happy days. Right, well, we'll keep our fingers... What's her name?
Danielle,
I have my fingers crossed for you that you managed to get that place over the weekend. Fair play, Tracy. Thanks very much. That is good news. Danielle is off to view a place over the weekend and might be moving out of Mammy's house if she gets it. What is your good news? Call me right now on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Where am I going next? I'm going to Lynn. You're on 98 FM. Lynn, how are you?
Hi, Adrian.
Lynn, what is your good news?
My good news is that we only found out that my brother is going to be given a kidney transplant to my other brother.
Wow.
He is on dialysis for 14 years and he gets it 4 times a week, 4 hours a session. So he'll be finally sorted in maybe September, October.
So your other brother is a match for a kidney transplant?
Yeah, for my other brother.
Now, your brother who's donating the kidney, was that an easy decision for him to make, or?
I'm not sure. Well, he was on it, like I said, for 14 years, and it was just getting to the stage where it was too much for everybody, and he was looking for people to be a match. So my brother decided to go and get the test done, and we found that he was a match in the end. And my other sister went as well for tests, but she couldn't give the kidney because she had many strokes before and that.
Right.
So we were delighted when we found out about my brother.
I have to say, I have the utmost admiration for somebody who's prepared to go under the knife themselves in order to help somebody like your brother is doing for your other brother.
Yeah. We're delighted now, but he brought us up, he didn't tell any of us, he brought us up to his house last Saturday and revealed all with a T-shirt of a picture of the two of them on the T-shirt saying we are a match.
Oh,
and
really?
It was his birthday that day as well. So,
what a way to do it.
Yeah, so it was basically a birthday present, if you like.
That is absolutely amazing. I'll keep my fingers crossed that all works, and if they're a match, there's no reason that it won't work. It just means both of them going under the knife at the same time and all that. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And as I said, your brother has my absolute admiration, because I'm afraid of a needle at the best of times, let alone going under the knife.
I know.
So fair play to him. That's fantastic news, Lynn. Thanks very much for sharing it with us.
All right, thank you.
Now, what is your good news? Call me right now on 6797 981. We do this every Friday. It's uplifting. It is Good News Friday. Bum, 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 bum. And we want you to share with us your good news story. I have a pair of passes for IMC Cinemas to give away for some lucky contestant or some lucky caller. Emma, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Emma?
Hey, Adrian, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. It's Friday. I'm always in a great mood on a Friday.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? I just love it, yeah. Emma, what is your good news?
I got Impractical Jokers tickets this morning.
Ah!
And I missed the last time they were over here, so now, granted, I'm going with my husband, my boss, and his missus.
So, now, I have to say, I like them on the telly. I've never seen them on stage. What do they do on stage?
To be honest, I've never been to one of their shows, but I've seen one of their stage shows on the telly, and it's pretty much what you see on telly. Like, they show that on the screen, and because some of them are stand-up comedians as well, they kind of do some of that as well.
Right, okay. So it's not like doing the wind-ups that they do on stage, is it?
Well, they do. Well, no, not on stage, no. They show it on the screen.
Oh, right, yeah, very good. Okay, so when is that on? I know a couple of people here are going to it as well.
Yeah, it's not until October. I think it's the 20th of October. So,
20th, right, okay. So you're delighted you got your tickets for the gig.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm going with my husband, my boss, and his missus. So let's just hope I still have my job by October, or it'll be very awkward.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well done, Emma. Thanks very much indeed for sharing your good news. JD, you're on 98 FM. How are you, JD?
Good morning, Jerry. How are you, Adrian?
I'm good, thanks, JD. What is your...
I just want to say, before I say my good news,
go on.
The second call today about that girl with the brother getting the transplant, that's the best news ever for anybody.
Isn't it just amazing? Yeah, it is amazing.
And I hope it goes well, but fingers crossed.
I have to say, it's one of the reasons I love doing this Good News Friday piece, to hear stories like that. It really is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But anyway, my Good News Friday is, I'm just waiting on my lift out my brother Dan to head to Dublin Airport, Tenerife for the week.
Oh, you lucky swine.
Absolutely, pal, absolutely.
What time is your flight?
20 past 2.
20 past 2 this afternoon?
Yeah, so I'm going to go up there now, put the bags in, have a few beers, and I'm on my holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Like what you do, Adrian, on your holidays, few drinks before the plane.
You have to. It should be. It should be the law. But come here. It's a bit windy out there.
Not in Tenerife, I don't care.
Yeah, but
it's actually 23 or 24 degrees in Tenerife.
Stop it now, stop.
Absolute brilliant. In my shorts and my sunglasses and bit of sangria, here we come.
It's well for you. Enjoy the pint in the airport.
I will, and I'll listen to you next week when I go back, buddy.
Fair play. All right. Well, you can download the 98 FM app and listen to us when you're on your holidays.
Actually, I'll do that.
There you
Promise
go.
you'll do that.
Good
Right,
man.
Pat?
Thanks, JD.
Yeah, buddy.
Bye. 98 FM app. Download it and listen to us wherever you are in the world. You can download it anywhere in the world, and you can listen to it anywhere in the world. Or the Irish Radio Player app, which has all the other radio stations, but you don't really need them. You just need 98 FM. So download our app on iTunes or on the Google Play Store, 98 FM app, and you can listen to us anywhere, especially if you're in Europe on holidays, because you get all your data roaming and all that, so you can listen to us every day on your holidays. Now, I have to be honest, I don't do it, but anyway, where are we going? Louise and Ella are on line 2. Hello, Louise and Ella.
Hi, Adrian.
How are you?
Grand, thanks.
What's your good news?
Emma is going to find out baby.
Sorry, say that again?
Emma is going to find out the sex of our baby today.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're driving around Rathgar looking for the place. We can't find it. We're a bit lost.
No, right. Here, let me help you. Where are you? You're in Rathgar. And where are you heading?
Orwell Road.
And you have a phone, obviously, because you're talking to me on it.
Yeah.
Have you not got Google Maps, no?
Yeah. It's not working.
What's the name of the place?
Baby Scan or something. Baby Scan Clinic, Orwell Road, Rathgar.
Okay.
We're nearly in Dundrum now.
Oh, well, that's not good, right? And talking on the radio probably... Oh, no, here I have it. Yeah, it's 170 Orwell Road.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with your Google Maps?
Oh, we have it. We found it.
Oh, you found it. Hey. Now, come here. While you're there, it's a conversation I've always had with people. Why do you want to find out the sex of the baby?
Oh, I don't want to, Adrian, at all. Because it's so hard to find baby clothes. Yeah.
It's so hard to what?
It's so hard to find baby clothes.
What do you mean it's so hard to find baby clothes?
Because all you're buying is neutral colours, white and lemon. You need to buy like boy or girl. It's very hard.
Yeah, but you only need clothes neutral colour for a couple of hours and then go out and buy the new stuff.
Adrian, I know.
Oh, I've lost you. Girls. You got cut off there. You there? Oh, go on and find the clinic anyway. I'm always curious to know why people want to find out the sex of the baby. I always think it's one of those surprises that you should try and keep until the last minute. Sorry, are you there now?
Yeah.
There you are. Right. Yeah, no, I'm just curious to know why the rush. I always love the surprise.
I know, I like the surprise, but
Mrs. here can't hold our horses.
Right, well, good luck. And they do 3D scans in there as well, do they?
Yeah. We're getting the whole lot today.
Oh, you're getting the 3D scan as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, well, enjoy. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks,
Best of luck to both of you.
Adrian.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
And one more call on Good News Friday, and that is Sam. You're on 98 FM, Sam. How are you?
How are you, Adrian? How's it going?
Good, thanks. Sam, what is your good nenews?
My good news is when they're actually holding me up at the minute, I'm sitting outside McDonald's here in Sanctuary waiting to go in on my lunch.
Sorry, your good news is you're going to McDonald's for your lunch.
I'm sitting outside now waiting to go in.
You've not much going on in your world if that's the best news you have.
Friday, isn't it? Everything's good.
Friday, lunch in McDonald's at this hour of the day.
This hour of the day.
But
yeah.
you're too late for breakfast because that finishes at 10:30, doesn't it?
We're on the road till 7, Adrian. We had breakfast hours ago.
Oh, right, okay. So it's lunch.
Yeah.
It's lunch in McDonald's and Santry.
Lunch at McDonald's and Santry, yeah. Me, Brendan, Vinny.
All right, good luck.
Cheers, Adrian.
All right, there you go. That's some of your good news stories. Let me read out some of your messages. Hi, my good news is that I am heading off to LA for the Oscar Wilde Awards next week. Oh, I'd love to get that person on the phone there, lads. I want to find out what the Oscar Wilde Awards is in LA, please. Yeah. WhatsApp, off to LA next week for the Oscar Wilde Awards. I'd love to find out what that is. And where am I going? My good news is that I'm going to a gig in the Cobblestone Pub for Care Day. That is a day for people who are in or have experience with foster care. That's that good news. And my good news is that I got 3 numbers up on the Daily Millions last night in the bookies. Returns €200 for a €1 stake. €200 for a €1. That's a nice return, isn't it? And one last message. My good news is that I made it to the gym 3 times this week. Yippee, says Pamela O'Brien. Well done, Pamela. Well done, Pamela. That is great news. Made it to the gym 3 times this week. And just finally, line 3. Sorry, who's on line 3? Vera.
Hi, how are you doing?
What is the Oscar Wilde Awards?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Basically, it's held with J.J. Abrams Studios there, who did Star Wars and...
Oh, right,
Yeah, Lost and all that. And basically, my son's band, Finchy, has been chosen to play for all the celebrities at the Oscar Wilde Awards the 21st of February.
Wow.
And
what's the name of the band again?
Finchy, C-I-N-C-I.
Sorry, Fee?
I-N-C-I, like the Da Vinci
Oh,
Code,
Da Vinci,
without
all right,
that.
Vinci, okay, that's the name of the band. And what sort of stuff do they play?
They do kind of pop rock, so it's very like Coldplay, that type of thing. Very radio. It's oh my God, we're just so excited. We're just over the moon for it.
How did they get chosen for that?
Well, basically, my son is, a fighter. If he wants something, he goes and goes out and tries to get it. But basically, he just did a cold call to somebody that he knew in LA, and then they sent on the music. Whoever got to hear it were blown away with what they had recorded. So they were invited over to do a showcase last year, and lots of other bands were showcased around the same time. So everybody was up for the chance to be chosen, and it's normally not announced until December. But they did a showcase over in LA, in the Mint it was called, and seemingly they blew the house down. And all the celebrities were there. They stood up for them, photographed everything. They were put out on the Billboard magazine the next day. It was announced, the Hollywood Journal. Yeah, just phenomenal.
Well, I tell you what you've just done. You've just introduced me to Vinci. You've just introduced our listeners to Vinci. And
Brilliant.
in fact, I'm going to have a listen to some Vinci. They're on YouTube, and they've a single called Lions. Is that right?
And you know what? They were the first band to be allowed to do their video in City Hall. U2 tried to get it many, many years ago and were declined. And they were allowed to actually video Lions in City Hall. So they've done remarkable stuff. They're the first unsigned band to be invited over to LA to do this showcase.
That is incredible. But let's just have a quick listen. I'm just watching them on YouTube here. Hang on, let's have a quick listen to them.
Running from the siren said that they're gonna take my soul, and they didn't know you are the kind of girl that
That is very impressive.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
So how many lads are in the band?
There's 5 in the band, and the unique sound is they've a celloist as well. So their sound is, for me anyway, I'm a proud Irish mother. My son is the singer and songwriter. They do all their own stuff. They've managed themselves for the last few years with no help from anybody, and they've got to this stage. And we're just so proud of them.
That is absolutely brilliant. That is really good.
You might get them on sometimes to interview them.
Well, we've a show called Totally Irish here at 98 FM, and it's on every Sunday. I'm going to pass on all of the information of that and the awards that they're going to be performing at to the gang in Totally Irish and get them on.
Oh, you're so good. Listen,
all right.
Thanks very much for that.
Brilliant news. Thanks very much indeed. Good to talk to you.
Have a lovely weekend.
You too. All right, there you are.
Bye.
Vinci is the name of the band. Yeah, I like that.
That we found love at the wrong time, but there's no wrong time. This world's a crazy place.
Okay, there you go. Vinci is the name of the band. They sound amazing. As somebody just sent a WhatsApp, and tell that mother fair play. They were great good news stories this week. Thanks very much indeed for all of your calls. You're listening to 98 FM's Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy. We're with you until midday today. Now, on the way in just a moment, many of you listening to us today have been in a relationship that has ended. Most of us have, haven't we? But did you stay in contact with your ex? And more importantly, are you still friends? Can exes really be friends? And if so, how does your partner feel about it? Well, we received this email last night from a Dublin Talks listener who's not very happy about his current girlfriend's friendly relationship with her ex-boyfriend. And Darren wrote to us and he said, "Hi Adrian, can you bring up a topic on your show, please? The topic is about people staying friends with their exes, especially when they are in new relationships. My girlfriend of 2 years is still in contact and very friendly with her ex-boyfriend, who she was with for 1.5 years. They speak on Facebook quite regularly and have a good relationship. I trust my girlfriend 100%, but this really drives me mad. I have exes too, but I don't feel the need to stay friends with them. The past is in the past and should be left there, in my opinion. I just don't understand why anyone would want to stay friends with an ex. It is pointless. I don't understand why... I've asked her to cut contact a little bit, but she thinks I'm being paranoid. This isn't necessarily about a fear of her going back to him. I just feel that if she really cared about me, she would stop being so friendly with him. Have any of your listeners ever been in this situation? Am I mad for having an issue with this? Please let me know if you're discussing it, which we already have. And that's from a guy called Darren. And I'd love to hear from you on this. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Would it bother you, or does it bother you, if your current partner is good friends with their ex? Or is it just complete and utter paranoia? Let's take some of your calls straight after the break.
98 FM's Dublin Talks with Des Kelly Interiors. New store now open at Belgard Road, Tala.
98 FM.
Friday morning, this is Adrian. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. Now, we got an email that I mentioned to you. By the way, if there's anything you want to bring up on the programme, it's very easy to contact us. You send us an email to dublintalks@98fm.com. dublintalks@98fm.com. You can send us a private message through our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D. And if you haven't already clicked like on our Facebook page, where have you been? What's keeping you? There are almost 103,000 Dubliners who have clicked like on our Facebook page. If you're not one of them, well, make it your business to click like on our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D. That's where you'll find us. Anyhow, email from Darren wrote to us yesterday. He's with his girlfriend 2 years, but he's a little bit bothered that she's still very good friends with her ex. And I know an awful lot of other people would be similarly bothered. Are you one of those people? If you are, why does it bother you? Call me right now and explain to me why it bothers you if your partner is friends with their ex. We got a message a couple of minutes ago. My now ex was friends with her ex, and now they're no longer exes. You see, this is where the problem is. So he was going out with this girl, yeah. She was still very good friends with her ex, and now she's back with him. Isn't that the risk? Call us now on 6797 981. Connor, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Connor?
Hi, I'm doing grand. Yourself?
Good, thanks, Connor. Now, you are friends with your ex.
I am.
Now, why?
Oh, I was with her for 4 years, right? And to be honest, the only reason we split up was just because she was moving away to college and I had to move up to Dublin for work.
Right.
We talked about it for months beforehand, and we figured we'd like to still be in contact with each other, so we just kept it up.
And are you in a new relationship?
Well, I haven't had as much luck as she has.
Right. So she's in a new relationship.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm asking is, it sounds like there's still you split up due to circumstances beyond your control, as opposed to falling out. So are there still feelings there?
We've talked about it before, and yeah, we still have feelings for each other, but like, we've been able to move past it and just remain as good friends just as much.
So does it bother you that she's got a fella?
No, not really.
Tell the truth now, Connor. Come on.
Okay, at the start, yeah, I was a little bit jealous, but I think that happens with everyone, though. Like, it's.
But you see, in a lot of cases, when you split up with somebody, you mightn't even necessarily find out that they're going out with somebody new, but because you've stayed in contact and are still good friends, you have found out, and it must be a little bit hurtful.
I expected it more than anything. So when it actually hit me, it's like, yeah, I was expecting it to hurt, but only hurt like a little bit. So I'm not, upset with it or jealous or anything.
You're not?
No.
Okay, right. Stay there for a second, Connor. 6797-981 is our telephone number. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Are you somebody who is still friends with your ex, or is your partner somebody who is still friendly with their ex? Where am I going? We're going to Carmel. You're on 98 FM. How are you, Carmel?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Carmel. Now, you are not only friends with your ex, you're friends with your ex and his wife.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh.
Now, this has only happened in the last, I'd say, 4 years.
Right.
Before this, we wouldn't have talked at all. No contact, no nothing. And then when my son...
I'm assuming then, I'm assuming that it didn't end great. Would I be right?
No, it didn't. No, definitely not. There was no contact with my son, and then when he hit 18, he went and he looked for his father.
Right.
And they built up a relationship, and then my ex's wife actually got sick. She got breast cancer. And we were sitting here one night, and I asked him, did he want anything for Christmas? And he said, for me to make amends with my ex's wife. That's all he wanted for Christmas. So I did it, and I never looked back, Adrian.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, never looked back.
And
we're the best of friends now.
Okay, so his wish with his wife sick was that you'd all become friends, basically?
My son.
Your son.
My son's wish, yeah.
Your son's wish, right.
Yeah, that we'd all become friends.
Okay.
And we did.
Right, and... like, do you socialise together, or...?
Yeah, everything, yeah. There's no hard feelings whatsoever.
And are you in a new relationship?
Yeah, and I've moved on, and I've had more children, and yeah,
and
we're quite content.
Does your ex get on with your current?
Yeah, they get on fierce well.
So all four of you get on brilliant?
Yeah, not a bother. And it works out better in the end, Adrian, because there's no point scoring or, if it had been 15 years ago, we would have killed each other on the street.
Okay, so you've been able to literally leave the past where it belongs.
Bury the hatchet and move on, because life is too short.
I agree with you.
It's too short. You're here today and you're gone tomorrow.
Yeah, I was off work yesterday. I was at a funeral of a close friend. A woman in her early 50s passed away, and that you kind of realise, Jesus, life is far too short.
Absolutely, and it's the truth, though. It is the truth, Adrian. Just all get. And something? There's no winners in it. It's the children that suffer in the end. I
know, but it can be very, very difficult, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that life is far too short. But it can be so difficult when it is an acrimonious split, and you proved it yourself. For years you didn't talk.
Absolutely, and we didn't talk for the whole 18 years that my son, there was no contact, no nothing. And then if I rang him now tomorrow, my ex, and asked him for €1,000, he'd have it in a second.
Wow, that's some relationship.
Yeah.
There's not many
So it can be done, Adrian. It can be done. Yeah.
All right, Carmel, very good.
Okay.
So it is possible and is helpful if you stay friends with your ex. Colette, you believe that exes shouldn't be friends?
No, I don't believe in it at all. No.
Why? What would you do?
They're an ex for a reason. Stay an ex.
Yeah, no, I know they're an ex for a reason because, you heard that first caller, Connor, they're an ex because he ended up having to go one place, she ended up having to go another. Have you got a fella at the moment?
Yeah, I had, but like that, we had a child each from a previous relationship, and I have to say, his ex gave me a horrible time.
Right, and...
Horrible time because we were getting on and she still wanted him back and she still wanted him another child, and his family gave me a horrible time bringing her over from, you know what I mean, bringing her into the house and all, made me feel like a piece of shit. No. Okay,
so does he try to... they have a child together, is he still friendly with her?
No, not anymore. No, that's it. Cut ties. Now,
sorry, was that at your insistence?
No, that was my insistence. I couldn't cope with it anymore, and that was it. He couldn't cope with it anymore.
Right, okay.
Says,
but
no.
So you believe that you're an ex for a reason, and you should basically stay that way. You shouldn't be friends.
Shouldn't be friends. You know what I mean? Unless there's children involved, then you have to get on. You know what I mean? But that doesn't say you have to be with them, go on holidays with them, have dinners with them, and all that. No.
Now, you heard Carmel's story. Herself and her ex and his wife and her partner are all friends now, all four of them.
Yeah, that can happen, you know what I mean? It's many out of every 100 that will happen. About 2 out of every 100 be successful, but the rest wouldn't be.
Okay, so would you be upset if he got friendly with her again?
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't have it anymore, no. I've been through too much. Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
It doesn't always work.
I mean, if it comes to his child and things like that.
Okay, you heard Carmel, and she was saying for years herself and her ex didn't talk at all. They'd kill each other if they saw each other, and they've just buried the hatchet and put the past in the past. Could you not do that with his ex?
No, you knew this one. No.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Okay, right.
But that doesn't say the sisters doesn't get on. They're very close, and I wouldn't break that from anybody. You know what I mean? They're all the girls are all very close. I wouldn't interfere now in that way.
All right, fair enough. Margaret, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Margaret?
How you doing? How are you?
Margaret, is it... You just heard Colette. No way. Absolutely no way. Is it possible to be friends with an ex?
Absolutely. You can fall out of love with them, but it doesn't mean you don't like them as a person. It's just you're not in love with them anymore. So one of my exes, we broke up 40 years ago, and we are the best of friends and have been for the last 40 years.
Why'd you break up then?
Oh, we were young and, all that sort of stuff. Family came into it and his mother didn't like me, but we stayed friends.
But you must have loved him at one stage.
Oh, of course I did. Absolutely. And I still love him now, but as a friend, not as a love interest.
You see, I'm curious how that just disappears.
Well, it disappeared because his mother got involved, was bad-mouthing me.
Okay, but you said you were young.
Well, youngish.
Yeah, okay.
And then I moved to the UK, and then we sort of lost touch just for a couple of years, and then we got back in touch, and we're just friends and have been for the last 40 years. And my other ex, we were together 16 years. We broke up about 5 years ago, and we're great friends. Absolutely great friends. We go up for a cup of tea and he'll come down to mine for a cup of tea. And
so you could have a party with exes only at it.
Absolutely. Well, a very small party. But I get on great with his new partner now as well. She's lovely. She's a dote. There's no reason not to like her because...
So can you understand then why some people have an issue with this, that they find it really difficult?
Of course they do.
Because, when you think about it logically, there was love there at one stage, and I think one of the insecurities that we have is that love could be rekindled somehow.
Well, that's very, very... That is true. That can happen. But that can happen even if you don't stay friends. If you feel that love for somebody, just because you're not in touch every day, that doesn't go away. If you're going to get back together, you're going to get back together whether you're in touch all the time or not.
Yeah,
that's what I think anyway. But I do definitely think you actually get on better, I think, when you're just friends. You know, we obviously broke up because our last relationship broke up because we were sort of getting a bit incompatible, different interests and stuff. But now we get on like a house on fire.
All right, one final call on this, and it's a lady who sent in this message. I am still friends with my ex too, and my husband is fine with it. Nolita, you're on 98 FM. How are you?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
Good, thank you. So you're still friends with your ex?
Yes.
Now, what sort of friends? Are we talking like going out for dinner friends, or are we talking Facebook friends?
No, I'm talking hanging out, having drinks together, and you visit the house, and yeah, that kind of friend.
Oh,
yeah.
So he'll pop around for a cup of coffee?
Yeah, well, not as such coffee, but drinks, like when we have weekend gatherings, and yeah, like it has never been a problem, you know.
And your husband is cool with this?
Well, he's cool with it because, you know, the guy is more like one of like my girlfriends because, you know, like we kind of like talk girly stuff now. You know what I mean?
Okay, but on the other side of the coin, your husband's ex of a long time ago happened to get in touch with him, but you didn't like that.
Oh God, no.
Why?
No. Oh, well, he said he happened to leave her because she was a bit of a busybody. You know what I mean? And he didn't like that. He walked away. So I kind of like assumed that there were still feelings there. And when she got in touch, I was like, I don't know if she's gonna bring out some good stuff because she was shady, not wanting to say whether she's single, she has a husband, she has kids, nothing like that, but interested in his life.
Oh, right, okay. So you thought this is bad news, her coming back on the scene.
Oh, definitely.
Where with you and your ex, there's no love interest at all?
Oh, not at all. We just really hang out and, you know, he loves my kids.
How did he ever become your ex then, if he's that nice?
Well, long time ago, he happened to have a girl that was so interested in him that she was, everywhere we go, she was always there.
Oh, right, okay. So
I didn't like that.
Okay, it was outside influences, basically.
Yes.
All right, no, Lisa, thank you very much indeed. And finally, Emma, you also, oh my God, everyone's getting on with everyone today. You also get on really well with your ex.
I don't see a point not to. Like, that last girl that was on was saying poor, like, ex's family treated her like crap. She didn't like that, so why would she do it? So her partner's ex.
No, that's a fair point. So what's your situation?
We have an 11-year-old daughter. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't always plain sailing.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, you know, an awful lot of relationships, when they break up, it can be fairly bitter.
Yeah, no, it wasn't always plain sailing. It took a while to get where it was, but basically, Adrian, we all grew up. I'm married now. He has a fiancé. Actually, when he proposed to her, we were FaceTiming them the next morning, saying congratulations. And
wow.
So at the end of the day, like, you know, we've both moved on. Like you were saying, like about you must have loved each other in the past.
Yeah.
Did you really, or were you just really good friends, or is it a case that my friends were going out with their friends and we were just all associates? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if you have a child together, you must have loved each other at one stage, did you not?
Don't get me wrong, like, I'll always have it. He'll always be there, do you know what I mean? But I don't love him, like, I just have a great respect for him, like.
Wow.
As I said, it took a while to get there.
So why did you split then, if you have such respect for him?
Well, because over time it was no longer love, it was just, we were just still like great friends for the sake of...
But you fell out of love?
Yeah, we basically fell out of love. We were more like two friends. We didn't see each other as much, and it wasn't like a relationship when we did. We'd go out with our friends. I'd be with the girls, he'd be with the lads. We'd just be in the same circle. But we had a daughter together, and that's all that mattered. And you know what I mean? For a long time,
eventually you called it a day.
And you know what? When we did, it was a bit nasty when we first split with, things happen with kids and, nastiness happens, but we all just learned at the end of the day, if we don't get on, she's the one that suffers. So,
but never true a word, and it's a pity more people don't deal with it in that way. All right, thanks very much indeed, Emma. Everybody can be happy and friends with their ex, is what we've learned, but it doesn't work that way in an awful lot of cases. But anyway, thank you very much indeed for all of your calls. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks. This is Adrian Kennedy, and on the way after the break, it is time for our Say What You See quiz. If you'd like to take part in the quiz, call us right now on 6797 981. I have a €100 voucher for Des Kelly Interiors to give away. Could be yours. If you want to take part in our Say What You See quiz, call us now. 6797 981.
98 FM's Dublin Talks with Des Kelly Interiors. New store now open at Belgard Road, Tala.
98 FM.
It's time for our Say What You See quiz. I'm here. Jeremy's off, so we wheel in Darren Cleary, because he's nothing else to do. He works in sport, but there's...
Literally wheeled in. There I am.
He's wheeled in for our Say What You See quiz. So if you'd like to take part, call us now, 6797 981, and the winner of the quiz wins a €100 voucher for Des Kelly Interiors. So let's go. Let's go to Wesley first. You're on 98 FM. Wesley, how are you?
Morning, lads. All right?
Good, thanks, Wesley. Now, who would you like to play with, Adrian or Darren?
Darren, please.
Darren Cleary, 98 FM's Darren Cleary. Okay, here we go. You know how this works, Wesley. You have a minute to get as many of these right, and your minute starts now.
Go. This is something, it's an expression that means you would tell little secrets into your missus or mister's ear. You'd be blanking, blank.
Sweet nothing.
That's the right answer. Very good. Here comes your next one.
This is a song by the Spice Girls about adding more spice to your...
Spice up your life.
Yes.
Spice up your life is the correct answer. Here's your next one.
This is a song about not needing to go to school.
I don't get Monday.
Huh?
School's out for summer.
No.
It's a line out of song.
Yes.
Another Brick in the Wall is the name of the song.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's your next one.
This is a game that kids would play if they were trying to be a little bit creepy. You put this in the middle of the floor and you'd spin it around.
Spin the bottle.
Yes.
Spin the bottle is the right answer. You're on 4. Here comes your next one.
Is this an expression?
I've never heard this before.
It's.
Sorry, who wrote this? No, I'll give you a different one. I don't know what that means.
This is a game we all played as kids. You used your head, you used your feet. There was a football involved. Say again?
Creepy uppers.
No.
On the volley.
Yeah. Give me a different name. Give me a different name for on the volley.
You
use your.
Use your head.
Yes. So, what's it?
Head the ball.
No. Okay, you got 4.
Wesley.
You got 4, Wesley, so you're in the lead, and obviously being the first contestant. Claire, have you ever... does anybody know... Katie, what in God's name is this? The Farmer Wants a Wife.
No, I've never heard of it.
What is she talking about? Is she singing that in your ear? The Farmer Wants a Wife.
The Farmer Wants...
Food on mice.
Sorry, Katie's actually singing this in my ear here.
Dog. The wife wants a dog. I'm at the wife wants a dog.
She's actually lost to Katie. I knew it would happen eventually. Working with Adrian and Jeremy every day, she'd lose her mind.
Katie with her baby brain. Sing the first line of it again then.
The farmer wants a wife. The farmer wants a wife. I'm at the farmer wants a wife.
What is going on? She's not well.
She's not well. Katie, you need to go on maternity leave now.
I mean, you wouldn't be well if you had to sit beside Jamie all day, but she's particularly not well.
Gareth is on 98 FM. How are you, Gareth?
No, lads.
Gareth, did you ever hear that before? The farmer wants a wife?
No.
No, nor did I.
No.
Anyway. Okay, who do you want to play with, Adrian or Darren?
I'll go with Darren if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine by me. Yeah, no
Great chance of winning for you, Gareth.
Problem. We're trying to beat a score of 4. You have a minute to try and do it, and your 1 minute starts now.
No farmers, no wives. Oh, this is an expression that means, come on, we'll go there. You also find them on Moore Street.
Ooh.
What are on Moore Street?
Stalled.
Stalled.
Over here.
Yeah, stall it over here.
That's
Give
the
them
right
a big
answer.
bear.
Here's your next one.
What?
No, we're not doing that one
an
either.
Expression.
Here.
This is something when you knock at your mate's door as a kid, you say to them.
you coming out to play?
That's exactly what you say to your mate.
Bing.
So that's 2. Here comes your next one.
This is something that you would say to express disbelief. It's a Dublin expression. You don't say, get out of that driveway. You don't say, get out of that garage. You say,
get up out of that garden.
Yeah, we do that.
It's the right answer. Here's your next one.
This is a show was on Channel 4. People had to do all mad challenges in it.
Fear Factor, was it?
No, not Fear Factor. It was a baldy fella presenting it.
The Crystal Maze.
Yeah, baldy.
That's the right answer.
Give him a bing.
Okay, here we go. Here's your next one. Quick.
Oh, this is the song from Rocky. Everyone knows the song from Rocky.
Eye the Tiger.
Yeah, it is.
Happy days.
Good man, Gary.
You're in the lead with a score of 5.
Brilliant.
Good man, thanks very much indeed. Okay, now, where am I going? Oh, yeah, sorry, you have to listen to this WhatsApp voice message.
The dog wants his food, the dog wants his food, with your eye, diddly eye, dog wants his food.
Katie didn't grow up on a farm, did she?
She did. And here's
Sorry, Katie, I'm with you. They're too old. I'm with you.
Oh, my word.
Okay, where are we going next? Jimmy, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Jimmy?
Good morning, how are you, lads?
Good, thanks, Jimmy. Who do you want to play with, Adrian or Darren?
Go on, I'll give you a shot there, Adrian.
Yeah,
all right,
he's been sitting around doing nothing.
5 is the score we're trying to beat. A minute to do it, and your 1 minute starts now. Let's go. This is something that people do, looking up at the sky, at the twinkly things. What are the twinkly things in the sky?
Stars.
Yeah, and what do you do if you're looking at them?
Stargazing.
Stargazing is the correct answer. Very good. Here's your next one. This is something you would say to somebody that your life would be meaningless.
No, it's a song by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a song by Kelly Clarkson. My life would be nothing without you.
Pass.
No, you can't
This is
pass.
something you do with a hard sweet.
What?
It's something you do with that. Yeah. My life would
suck it. Yeah, okay. Go on.
We'll give it to you.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks,
Do like a mulberry bush or something like that. It's a.
Here we go down the mulberry bush.
No.
Ring a rosy.
No, if you ran around circles out your back, what would you be doing? You'd be running.
Going circles around your back.
Who writes these things?
I don't know.
If you ran around in circles out your back, you'd be running all. No.
This is not a song. All around the garden, looking for it. Yeah.
Who is writing
Kennedy,
these?
your clues are awful.
Sorry, Jimmy. I let you down. I'm sorry.
You actually did let him down.
Yeah, I did. Joseph is next. How are you, Joseph?
How's it going, Adrian?
Joseph, who would you like to play with, Adrian or Darren?
I'll play with you, Adrian.
Okay, I hope I'm better the next time. Okay, you ready?
Your funeral, Joseph.
4 is what we're trying to beat. You've a minute to try and do it, and your minute starts now. This is an expression for if you don't slap a child, they're going to be bold.
As long as you don't slap a child, they're going to be bold. A slap in the hand?
No. If you spare the something, you spoil the something.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Another clue.
No, that's about it. I'm nearly after reading it out for you.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, I don't know.
Spare the something and spoil the something. No.
Jeez, that's the same I haven't heard.
No, you're brutal.
You're terrible.
Brutal. Get off the phone.
I
Good
thought
luck.
Kennedy was bad, Joseph.
One last call. Patter, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Patter?
Hello, guys. All right?
Good, thanks, Patter. Who do you want to play with, Adrian or Darren?
Yourself, Adrian. Spare the rod and spoil the child.
I am going to give you 1 point for that. Spare the rod, spoil the child is the right answer. And you have a minute on the clock, and your minute starts right now. Here we go. This is a thing that you teach people, kids, when they're learning elocution.
They're ABCs.
No. Oh, no, wrong.
How now, brown cow?
Is the correct answer. Very good.
Could you make that sound again, please?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
This is something that means... what does it mean? How do you even...
It's between your legs, if you're a man.
Your tackle.
Yeah, but another word for it. It's also
Crown jewels.
No, it's also a big black thing that swims in the ocean, and he was free one time.
Your willy.
Yes.
This is an expression for...
Willy, and then something that rhymes with Willy.
Silly Billy.
No, Willie.
Willy nilly.
Hey, here comes your next one. It's a song by was it Green Day?
Green Day.
And it's gets you
American
up in the
Idiot.
No, gets you up in the morning, not in October or August.
When September comes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Okay, here's your next one. This is where SpongeBob lives.
Bikini Bottom.
No.
Well, okay,
Under
but
the sea.
Oh, yeah, but whereabouts? He lives in a particular.
Bikini Bottom.
He really loved Bikini Bottom, Paller.
What's the first line of the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song?
Who lives in it? Under the sea.
Yeah,
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, but
what's the thing he lives under?
What's he living?
Under a shell.
No, that's Patrick.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Pineapple.
Yeah, but you're too late now. I've given it to you. So, disaster area. Good luck. Thanks, Paller.
Where do you find these people? Where do you get them?
It's my favourite part of the week. The winner of our quiz this week
Willy-nilly.
Gareth. Willy-nilly. Is Gareth. So congratulations, Gareth. You've won yourself a €100 voucher for Des Kelly Interiors. Don't mind them, Katie, says this message. We used to play that in the schoolyard. This goes back to, what was it?
1941.
Oh, the farmer wanting a wife or something. Adrian, that's a song that we used to sing as kids, and I'm only 49, says Siobhan.
I can see Siobhan's picture. She's about 149.
And one final one, and I agree with this. Katie sounds like Mrs. Doyle from Father Ted when she's singing. Katie, can I just tell you, Katie's just saying in my ear, that's actually not a compliment to say you're like Mrs. Doyle from Father Ted.
Any chance of a cup of
Katie,
tea?
say that again. You were very what?
Sensual.
She was very sensual singing. Right, good luck.
Sensual?
That's it from us for today. Barry Dunn is next. In the next hour, he's got some... By the way, thanks, Darren. In the next hour, Barry's got some great music lined up, like these.
Sensual.
Save tonight and fight the break of dawn.
98 FM's
Dublin Talks
with Des Kelly Interiors. New store now open at Belgard Road, Tala.
98 FM.